안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Visa in Korea 장ging.com 행여사 사무소의 장만기 행사입니다. Hi, this is Mr. Jang from Visa in Korea. Today is Friday night, so every Friday night in the Visa in Korea, the Mr. Jang and opens for the free consultation, right, through my friends and the Q&A, right? So if you have any questions for immigration matters and the visa issues, you may ask to, leave your comment or questions on my YouTube channel right now. So I will do my best, right? And to explain what you really wanted, right? So join us every Friday night and with Mr. John, right? Okay, let us start today. Okay, Isaac Condell, right? Thank you very much for the thumb, okay? And the Dol Gallagher, right? What do I need to prepare in order to renew my F299, right? Okay. This is I will let you know very newest information about F299, right? But most of the person really want to get F299 and the long-term residence visa, right? So, but I don't know exactly about which visa did you from, right? But I'm not sure. But the basic requirement for the F299 extension is your income. Previous income is the most important thing. Okay, so what is the previous year's income? But it depends on you are staying in Korea alone or staying with your spouse or your child together. The first case is if you're staying Korea alone, and when you extend your F299 visa, but we don't know about your previous visa time. But I will just explain the simple way. If you have E1 to E7-1 or D5 and D6 and D7 and D8 and D9, if you are holding, you held and that visa before F299 visa and you are staying in Korea alone, you need to prove your previous year's income is more than 12 times of your basic income. So what is the basic income? And 8,721 is this year's, right? And 209 hours per month and 12 times is around the 22, right? 21. Wait a minute. And the monthly is 1.82 million won and 12 times. You need to prove it around the 22 million won per the previous year's income if you're staying in alone with D5 to E7-1 visa. However, if your previous visa before F299 visa, right? And if you got a E74, for example, right? And if you do, you have to prove it 18 times of your previous year. So uh, 8,720 and 209 is the monthly. Uh, 1.8 million won, and 18 times is a 30, around the 33 million won. You have to prove it. But this is one is if you are staying in Korea alone. But if you invited your spouse or your child before F299 visa, right? And if in this case you have to prove it, and the GNI one-time income, if you held a D5 to D9 visa and you want to E7-1 visa, right? But if your previous visa was E74, right? You need to prove GNI 1.5. GNI in 2019 income is 37.4 million won, and 1.5 times if you had E74, you have to prove it 56.1 million won for your previous year's income. Clear? Do Gallagher, are you clear? Right? So this is a very, very important thing, right? So when you extend, the firstly you have to check that what is your previous visa time. If your visa was F26, right, and from E9, right, if you are alone, you can prove 12 times of the monthly basic income. If you stay with your spouse and children with F26, right? Before F299 visa, right? You have to prove it GNI one time, 37 point the 4 million won for the previous year's income. You have to prove it, right? Good. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Okay. The Riacho, the Rasin, when Bangladesh visa will reissue, the please do something for Bangladesh students who are doing online class. We are waiting for the visa reissue. COVID-19 situation in our country is very well nowadays. Okay. The Riajun, the Rasin, this is exactly based on current Korean immigration policy, and also, and you have to come to take classes, but Korean government recommend the all and the foreign and the student, if possible, in just to take online classes, right? So each child need to follow Korean government rule. So I think you may contact your Korean embassy in Bangladesh first. So there is anything and you can do right now, because this is almost the season to they come to Korea, right? To join their new the spring classes, right? But the Ria Joe, the Razin, I'm the student for the graduate school of Chunghang University right now, right? I'm the third semester right now, but I received a message from Chunghang University, and they said that like a first semester, the March to the June in 2021, right? This spring semester shall be, you know, using online classes. So right now, and even if me, right, I'm the graduate student right now, and but even stay in Korea, and the university said that I have to stay very, very safely in Korea, but cannot join like a face-to-face classes right now, right? So even in the Korea, in a person like me, right, and have to take a classes through online. So what about you right now? So all the based on my understanding is that all and the university or graduate schools and classes are closed and just they're doing opening for their um, just the online classes right now. So it is very sort to tell you right now, but the first semester of the university or graduate schools are very difficult to join face to face, face to face. So there is no face to face in classes right now, and even the Chungang University in Korea. So uh, so even if you just come to Korea and you have to take the online classes, so there is no. So I think they don't it's very difficult to visit in Korea through a D2 visa right now. So the firstly, you may contact to Korean embassy in Bangladesh first, and what's going on, you may ask to them. The secondly, the contact to your university, right? The person in charge for the international student, and they contact them and what's going on and uh, there is any other ways to visit Korea or attend a class and the face to face, but I think face to face classes are not available in the first semester of 2021. Okay, okay. Jagath 구나싱가 안녕하세요. E74 비자 바꿔서 다른 회사 바꿀 수 있어요. 어, 우선은 if some my client right and the quest in Korean, I shall and answer that question in Korean. Okay, kindly understand that because it is a very person to person and the questions for that. Okay. 우선은 E74 비자를 자가 구나싱가 님이 받으신 것 같습니다. E74 비자에서 회사를 바꿀 수 있는 경우는 어, E9 비자에서 회사를 바꿀 수 있는 경우보다 굉장히 좁습니다. E9 비자는 어, 처음에 3년 때 3번 그리고 1년 10개월 때 연장하고 나서 2번을 총 5번을 변경 신청을 가능합니다. 그래서 사업장을 본인이 원하든 아니면은 회사하고 합의를 해서 옮기든 상관이 없지만 E74 비자를 받고 계시는 경우는 이제 현재 고용하는 회사 비자를 변경을 시켜준 회사하고의 고용 계약 관계로 되어 있어서 원칙적으로는 다른 곳에 다른 회사로 가서 일하는 것이 제한이 되어 있고 실제로 할 수가 없습니다. 다만 E74 비자를 가지고 있는 외국인 근로자 중에서 만약에 회사가 그런 경우를 제가 정말 많이 봐서 설명을 해 드리는 건데요. 회사가 어 폐업 또는 문을 닫아서 지금 E74 비자를 가지고 계신 외국인 근로자를 계속해서 채용할 수가 없는 고용할 수가 없는 경우에는 그 계약 기간이 만약에 지금 남아 있다 그러시면 이적 동의서 release letter를 회사를 통해서 받아서 D10 1 비자를 immigration에 신청을 할 수 있고요. 그 부분은 제가 조금 이따 설명하겠습니다. E74 비자는 원칙적으로 다른 회사 갈 수가 없는데 나의 외국인 근로자의 문제가 생겨서 그런 게 아니고 회사 쪽에 문제가 생겨야 되는데 그게 첫 번째로 회사가 폐업하거나 휴업해서 더 이상 일을 줄 수 없는 경우가 첫 번째고요. 그리고 두 번째는 회사가 재정적인 이유로 financial problem, 재정적인 이유로 인원을 감축해야 되는 경우가 있어요. 그러니까 작년에 그런 경우가 굉장히 많았는데 회사가 문을 닫지는 않았어요. 그런데 해외로 수출을 해야 되는 업체들이죠. 그리고 인제 지금 회사에 그 인제 order 어 그 주문을 주는 회사가 인제 해외로 또는 다른 나라로 물건을 파는 업체인데 한국에 지금 회사에서 물건을 만들어서 그 회사로 보내야 되는 건데 그 회사에서 order가 없어요. 주문이 없어서 어 어쩔 수 없이 사람들을 한국 사람이건 외국 사람이건 인제 "아 우리는 더 이상 일이 없어서 내보내야겠다." financial problem으로 "우리 회사는 클로즈는 하지 않지만 어 지금 보내야 되겠습니다. 음 어쩔 수 없이 계약 기간은 남아 있더라도 회사하고 여기서 일을 할 수 없고 다른 곳에 일하러 가세요." 그런 경우 그 두 가지 회사가 막 인제 클로즈하거나 아니면은 회사가 재정적인 이유 때문에 지금 E7-4 비자 근로자를 계속해서 쓸 수가 없는 경우에는 D10 비자로 우선을 변경을 할 수가 있습니다. D10 비자라는 거는 어떤 거냐면 구직 비자예요. 그래서 E7-4 비자로 그 지금 회사하고 계약 관계가 남아 있으면 이적 동의서 아시죠? 이적 동의서. 릴리즈 레터를 회사에서 "이 외국인 근로자하고 계약 관계를 끝냅니다. 그 이유는 우리 회사가 코로나19 때문에 굉장히 어려움을 겪고 있어서 지금 인력들을 감축 좀 줄일 수밖에 없어서 해당 E7-4 외국인 근로자하고 합의를 통해서 합의를 통해서 내보내기로 했습니다."라는 서류를 가지고 출입국에 가서 D10-1 비자로 신청을 합니다. D10-1 비자 신청하면 E7-4 비자는 어 3 개월 주고 3 개월 줍니다. 그래서 3 개월 보통 인제 한 3주 정도 있으면 D10-1 비자를 받고 3 개월을 주는데 그때 회사를 빨리 구해야 돼요. 회사 구해서 제조업이면 제조업, 농업이면 농업, 회사를 직접 구합니다. 어 외국인 고용지원센터는 더 이상 도와주지 않아요. E9 근로자에만 도와주고 E7-4 비자 가지고 계신 분은 직접 본인들이 친구를 통해서 회사를 좀 찾으셔야 돼요. 그래서 회사하고 계약을 맺고 D10-1에서 인턴십으로 일을 할 수 있어요. 인턴십으로 일을 하면서 비자가 끝나기 전에 D10-1 비자 끝나기 전에 정식 계약을 맺고 E7-4 비자로 다시 변경 신청을 하는 거예요. E7-4로 다시 변경 신청하는 경우에 점수는 52 점이 돼야 됩니다, 최소. 그러면은 비자를 변경할 수 있습니다. 어 제가 그나싱가 제가 얘기한 거 잘 이해가 갔으면 좋겠어요. 이해가 안 가고 그러면 밑에다가 댓글로 좀 달아 주세요. 그러면 제가 다시 한번 설명을 해 드릴게요. 어 PCA in Korea, PCA. I got my F-7 visa in 2015 and renewed it once before the December 2020 rule changes. Okay. I know I can renew under the old F-7 points rules. My visa expires this June. 음, 우선은 okay. What counts as Korean language training? Uh, what count? Wait a minute. 음. 어, what counts as Korean language training and study abroad? 음, a Korean language training is a D4 the visa, right? In study abroad, my understanding was as long you did a course at a Korean university, you would get the point too. How long do you need to have remaining on your passport to renew your F-7? 음. Okay, what counts as Korean language training and study abroad? So, but I cannot totally understand your what is exactly you're asking for. I mean, but you just extended it one time before December 1st, 2020. So until this year you can use old rule, right? Until this year, right? So when you extend one more time this year before your visa expiration, you can use previous and F7 visa rule, right? So there is a certain and a point chart, and if you are staying in Korea, okay, I need to check that. I need to check that about your questions because but I know the current rule, but is a previous rule. Okay, wait a minute. I just checked. I will let you know the previous rule for the F2, the 7 and the points. The wait a minute. Okay. Okay, F2 7 point system. Okay, there was some of the rules that okay. The study experience in Korea, okay? The Korean language training is a D4 1. If you had a D4 1, you get May 1 point, but is our okay? Wait a minute. There is no any specific information about your current language training. The period, there is no any specific and a period to get one, right? To get your the getting 1 point. So if immigration may check that, okay, so I don't know how long have you been here in Korea with a D4 1, and after that you change to D2. I don't know, but a highest score you can use it, right? The for example, and if you and came to Korea with a D41 Korean training, right? But you finished the bachelor's degree in Korea. If you did it, only higher point, like a bachelor degree point, and then get a master, bachelor degree in Korea. Just a higher content, you can use it. So you are training in Korea with a D41, may get 1 point, but if you study in Korean master's degree and 3 points, so you can use only 3 point, right? So the basically that I did, that's why I'm asking you, how long have you been here with a D41? If you just studying just the first semester more than 6 months, you can use that one, right? If immigration may check their system, right? But if you got a bachelor degree in Korea, right, after D41 and the Korean training and the visa, right, and highest point, right, the bachelor degree is additional point is a 3 point. So it's the highest point, and graduated from the one of the Korean universities. As that degree, it can be they're calculated. Okay, good. So how long do you need to have a remaining on your passport to renew your? Okay, so this is a basic rule, though. When you apply a certain visa type or when you extend, the recommended date your validity date is 6 months. The valid in your passport, right? Because when you extend it, and the immigration, the sometime it takes a time to procedure to extend you up to 7, right? So if you have my recommended in a passport period is 6 months at least, right? The most of the country they provide 5 years, 5 years in passport and a period or 10 years, right? So the when you extended it is I recommend you to get uh, at least 6 months, right? Because nobody knows, and you're, for example, I saw the one other person and applied for the another visa, right? And but they waited around 3 months, right? Nobody knows how long it will take. So if possible, and the right now, the last December, the before that you extended it, so the right now check that, and before your extension, kindly the renewal of your passport and the one of the embassy in Korea, right? Your country's embassy in Korea, and reported to the immigration office that you have been and renewed your new passport, and report it is very important. Report it, and when extended it using the new passport after reporting your new renewal and a passport. Okay, good. Okay, and okay, Claudia the Pazova. I was on student visa D2. Okay, from 2016 to 2020. I think you was in Korea with a D2 too, like bachelor degree course, right? And now I am on E6 entertainment visa, E61, right? Without leaving the country. Can I apply for Koju visa, residence visa, and what are the requirements for? Okay, the first of all, we needed to check your the D2. So if you was a D2, it is a bachelor degree, and you got a bachelor degree. After that, you change to E61, right? E61, an actor or singer. It is a you can get E61, right? So if you were E61, you have a chance to apply for the Koju visa, the residency the visa. But there are several Koju visa, but I think the main question is about F27 point based residency visa, right? Yes. So if you do, and you can use uh, a new F27 and criteria chart. I already posted it on my YouTube channel and my Facebook the page. Okay, so uh, E61 it is possible to apply for the F27, but E62 it is not allowed. So you must check whether your visa is E61 or not. Okay, the firstly, and you have to meet 80 point from E61 to F27 visa, right? 80 point. The second is the most important thing. I don't know when did you get E61 right now, but if you apply for and the E61 to F27, it takes around 3 years to wait. But your previous income, the was more than 40 million won, more than 40 million won, and you can apply right away if you have more than 80 points. Okay, so the basic requirement is the point first, right? The second one is about the income related document, and the thirdly is based on your point chart, and fourthly your current company's the certificate of employment and the business registration certificate, right? And your working contract. This is a basic and a requirement. This is a very, very important requirement, right? Good. Graham, can 10 years on an E2 get an F5 without language test standpoint? Yeah, Graham, I think I think you just you're talking about very very like a long time ago an F5 visa system, and from the 2018 like May 2018 there was the immigration the law in Korea, and that has been changed, right? So there is no more some of the grace period, right, for and the stay in Korea over 10 years. That kind of rule has been cancelled, and there is no more that kinds of rule since the May 2018. The last time, the long time ago, 3 years ago, right? Somebody, E1 to E7, the 89, and the kind of person stayed in Korea over 10 years. I'm sorry about that. If you staying over 10 years, and you don't need to submit a KIP Stage 5 completion. Just taking a Korean interview. But right now, from May 2018, you have to submit it KIP Stage 5 completion. This is a very, very basic requirement when you apply for that. And F51 is usually and the other foreign the persons are usually applied for. But anyway, F51 is required for GNI double income with a KIP Stage 5 completion. So if I were you, I just try to study masters in Korea, the regular course, right? And if you do, and just you find a job and working as a each field, and if you meet the GNI, even though need a KIP Stage 5, even if you apply for the F510, the master degree holder in one of the Korean university, even you got E2 and you can study in Saturday, right? On Saturday. So if you find the university, you can do, but master degree holders also need a KIP Stage 5 completion, right? Except for the PhD, right? In Korea. So uh, I think I know that E2 is a basic requirement to apply for the E2 visa is a bachelor's degree, right? So if I do, even if you got a master degree, you can get in Korea, but you need to submit it KIP Stage 5 completion. So it must study Korean, KIP Stage 5. Okay, good. Riachul the Razin, thank you so much. Okay, you're welcome. So every Friday night, and Mr. John and answer you any kind of questions very, very detailing. And the PCA in Korea, PCA, and the study abroad category in point rules on the order system. Study abroad. Study abroad means you are studying in Korea, right? As you're an international student, right? So if you do highest your domestic academic and the diploma may get additional point, right? For example, I explained it. You you were here with a default one training. After that, you changed to bachelor's degree in Korea. So when you get bachelor's degree in Korea, you may get just a 3 point, right? Even if you may get additional 1 point for the default one, but only highest point you can get. But if you study, right? If you study, uh, I think this is what you're asking for, okay? MD Emon's World, can I change my visa E9 to D8 visa? And what is the requirement? But actually, the last time, I think 2019, the maybe until the early 2020. And Minister of Justice has announced that and the E9 visa holders can change the D8 visa if they invested the 300 million won from your country into Korea, right? So, but right now I just checked that in the guidelines for like a visa or the visa change in South Korea, but there is just indicated that um, and the visa change from another visa to D8, right? But it is not allowed a certain visa types such as E9, right? So the right now on based on the guidelines, E9 to D8 it is not available right now, right? Yes, based on the current situation. So, if you have a time and just to visit near immigration office and ask that at the face to face about E9 to D8, because of most of the Seoul and the Incheon and Gyeonggi province, Gyeonggi immigration office, they have a certain investment and a window, right? So you can just visit there. You may ask E9 to D8 is allowable right now or not, right? But also it's a very, very not easy, right? Because it's very difficult to prove that you saved like 300 million won, and how do you prepare that kinds of and very very that kinds of money from your country. So immigration officer may request for the source of this and a fund, the 300 million won, 3억 won is a very very higher volume of money, right? So before you doing something, and I kindly recommend you to visit and the Korean immigration office nearby you and ask that procedure, right? But based on in the current guideline, E9 visa to D8 visa, it is not allowable right now. PCA in Korea, PCA. If I did a Korean language course at a Korean university but was not a student, I did it when I was on an. Oh, it is not applicable, right? Because of our, as I said you the before, if you want to get additional 1 point, you have to get a D41 visa. But you can study and Korean language with your E2 visa, but it is not and the count as a you study the Korean language with a D41. So you didn't have D41 for Korean language and training, and you just studied in the Korean language with a E2 visa, right? There is no additional point. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I got the point before, but if I wasn't on D4, then I don't get the point. Yeah, you are correct. If you didn't have a D4 and you didn't get it, right? Okay, that's what I'm asking. Okay, so I already replied you. So if you want to get additional 1 point, you was D41 visa, not just taking the classes. Now think about it, taking classes. If all the foreigners and taking Korean classes such as KAIP or topic test, they can get an additional 1 point. I don't think so. So that's why, right? 자가프 군나싱가 E74 비자 받자마자 국민연금 받을 수 있어요. 국민연금을 받은 거는 우선은 국민연금이 아닌 것 같고요. 제가 볼 때는 예, 국민연금은 아닌 것 같고 그 E9 비자에서 E74 비자를 받으면 출국 만기 보험이 있잖아요. 출국 만기 보험이 있는데 E9에만 해당이 되는 거예요, 출국 만기 보험이. 그래서 E74 비자를 받으면 고용노동부에서 외국인 고용지원센터에서 회사로 연락이 갑니다. 회사로 연락이 가서 이 E9 비자 근로자가 이제 E74 비자를 바꿨기 때문에 인제 할 수가 없어요. 인제 그 외국인 이제 출국 만기 보험을 회사로 보내겠습니다. 그래서 회사로 그 출국 만기 보험을 보내요. 출국 만기 보험을 보내고 회사가 E74 비자 가지고 있는 외국인이 회사를 그만둘 때 출국 만기 보험을 주고 또 그 퇴직금을 주게 돼 있어요. 그래서 국민연금하고는 상관이 없어요. 국민연금하고는 왜냐면 국민연금하고 상관없고 또 국민연금을 이미 납입을 했다면 국민연금 그 기관에 한번 문의를 해볼 수가 있어요. 그런데 국민연금을 냈고 받을 수 있는 사람은 음 그 나라에서도 대한민국 국민이 내셔널 펜션을 냈고 이제 일하면서 냈고 그다음에 그거를 다시 받을 수 있는 국가인 경우 미국은 가능하다고 알고 있거든요, 국민연금을. 예. 어드밴스드 컨트리는 대부분 되고 있는데 제가 잘 모르겠어요. 다른 동남아시아 국가 같은 경우에는 국민연금이 이렇게 한국 사람이 동남아시아에 살고 있으면서 국민연금을 냈고 그걸 받을 수 있는 국가는 받을 수 있는 걸로 알고 있는데 그 나라에 대한 리스트는 잘 몰라서 우선은 국민연금공단에 한번 연락을 해 보세요. 그러시면 한번 신청해 볼 수 있는데 중요한 건 국민연금이라고 하더라도 E74 비자잖아요. E74. E74 비자는 계속 그 회사에 일하고 있는 거기 때문에 계속 납입을 하는 게 맞아요. E74 비자 받고 국민연금을 받는 게 아니고 국민연금하고 퇴직금하고 그다음에 출국 만기 보험은 E74 비자로 변경하게 되면 계속 회사에서 일하는 거가 되기 때문에 그 회사를 그만둬야 받을 수 있는 거예요. 자, Jamard Khan, sir, by the way, in company has 5 Korean worker. Can possible E74 for 2 men, one from immigration and one in Ministry of Labor? Mm, but actually, it depends on the root industry, right? If your company is a part of a root industry, and 1 person to 5 Koreans, less than 5 Koreans are working there, and the one E74 is possible. But after that, I may just check this new rule. But wait a minute. But and But if your company is a part of just a general manufacturing, right? It shall be more than 10 person can apply the 2 person. Okay. So what is your company? A wood industry or just general manufacturing? Kind of let me know. The Kamrud Khan, kind of let me know your just the 5 Koreans are there, right? Except for your company is a part of a wood industry and 2 person is not allowable. 1 person is possible. Okay? Even if you can get the recommendation letter from Ministry of Labor, just the 1 person allowed for the general manufacturing company. Okay? Claudia Pesnova, I was a master degree and graduated. Okay, master degree, and you got E61 visa right now. So you may check that how long have you been studying in your master degree course. And before you E61 and you got a master degree. So if you study 2 years and your D23, right? And the period with your D101 visa right after your graduation was more than 3 years, right? 3 years. Okay, you can apply for F27 without uh, 40 million won the previous income. Can you understand it, right? So, but usually master degree as a courses are just the 2 years and D101 and you change it E61, but you need a more than 3 years with a D23 and D10 after your graduation, right? So you need to calculate the period of stay before you E61. Okay? EM Vanap. 선생님, 안녕하세요. 만약에 과속 위반을 한 적이 있으면 E74 비자 변경을 할 수 있습니까? E74 비자는 스피드 티켓은 과태료입니다. 과태료. 그래서 스피드 티켓, 그다음에 파킹 티켓을 한 경우에는 일반적으로 E74 비자 변경하는 데는 문제 없어요. 그런데 차량과 관련해서 문제가 될 수 있는 거는 그 교통사고를 크게 내서 사람이 다친 경우 또는 음주운전을 한 경우 또는 어 어 무면허로 운전 면허증이 없는데 운전을 해서 적발된 경우에는 E74 비자로 변경을 할 수가 없지만 아 근데 단순하게 속도 위반하는 경우에는 괜찮아요. 근데 속도 위반이 너무나 커 가지고 과태료를 벗어나는 사람은 문제가 될 수 있어요. 그런데 이제 속도 위반이 대부분 5만 원, 10만 원짜리 티켓을 끊었다 그러면은 E74 비자 변경할 때는 문제가 없어요. Claudia Perez, yes, E61. Yes. The Miss Claudia and kindly check that. So if before E61 visa, right? And if you appear to stay with a D23 master and D10 1, that period is over 3 years, and you can uh, apply for the F7 directly. But if not, you have to wait 3 years from E61. Okay. LC Gaming. And when can we apply for C3 visa re-entry? Please, can you tell something? Oh, the right now is most of the short-term the visit visa has been canceled and waived, right? And until the previous talking and the previous immigration policy is released. So except for C4, C4 is very the short term, the contracting, working contract, and the visa, right? Short term visa and the working visa. C4 is allowable for the some countries, but it's very difficult to apply for the C3 just to travel like a visiting someone in Korea with a C3 is very difficult right now, right? So you may ask to the Korean embassy in your country about the situation about you, and they will let you know in a certain period, right? But right now is very difficult because third pandemic situation is around in Republic of Korea right now. It's a very serious situation now here, and also the countries, the Korean embassies are closed the frequently due to COVID-19. So the most more correct information about C3 visa is to ask to the Korean embassy in your country. Okay? And then Graham, thank you, sir. But anyway, Graham, if you have any questions, and you can contact me through my cell number. You can check the Facebook page or www.visainkorea.com, the website, and you can find my phone number. Right? Everybody the same thing, right? This every Friday. I just uh, you know can deal with it. I can explain, but if you call my cell number within 10 minutes, we can communicate without charge. Okay. Wu Yan Fong, hello sir. How long can I take E7 visa? Right. But I don't know actually about your the visa time, because there are 4 types of E7. E7 one is a professional the job that there are the 6 to 7 professional jobs, and E7 two, E7 three, E7 4. E7 4 is the converted from the E9 visa, right? So if you are holding E7 1 professional and a job in one of 75 professional jobs, and you can extend, and when you extend, right? So before your visa expiration date, and if your company and extend your working contract, you can extend it, right? If you are holding E7 4 visa, right? While your company is still hiring you, the working contract or bi-yearly working contract, with a 52 point, you can stay continuously. Okay, ground. My husband has a D8 export, right? Export. Can I open a business with him? A study room? Mm, okay, so your husband has a D8, right? An investment visa, right? So uh, you are holding F3 visa? Ground. Okay, wait a minute. But I have to check that ground. Oh, you got E2, right? Yes. Okay, so in this case is if you open your own business, you must have F7 or you got D8 investment visa, because your husband, even if your husband got a D8 investment visa, but you cannot use the kinds of the business field. So if you are still holding E2 visa, right? F7 is the most of the effective in a way to open your own business without investing a certain amount of money, right? Good. I am Vanak. 네, 잘 알겠습니다. 감사합니다. 네, 질문 있으시면 이렇게 올려주시면 제가 자세하게 설명을 해드려요. 예. Claudia Petrova. Okay, so from August 2016 to August 2019, I was on D4 visa language course. Right after that, I switched to D27 visa to study master degree until August 2019. Hmm. So, so it means I think that you studied 2 years on D23 and D27. The right now is that you got a master degree, so you got E61. So there is a some GNI. You can consider F510 master degree holders from one of the graduate school of Korea, and KIP stage 5 compilation and GNI one-time income with and if you are a permanent and the employment, you can apply for the F510 in the 3 years from your graduation from D23. And then right now is you got D27. If you got this one, right, you got a very good benefit. There is a F5 visa for D27 visa holders, and you got a master degree right now here. So if you earn the basic income, right, basic income with a KIP stage 5 completion, you may apply for the F5. But you need 5 years from the E2, right? E6, right? Good. This is the one of the way. You got D27, and you have a very good benefit for your income proving, right? If you do, F5, but there is no any code, but there is a sum of the permanent residency for D27 visa holders. So, and you may just prepare for the F7, right? Or just keep working and more than basic income, right? Basic income. So 1.82 million won per month and travel times is around the 23 or 22 million won. If you're higher than that and with a KIP stage 5 completion, and then the 5 years from your E61, you can apply for the F5 visa for the D27 visa holders. You had a very good potential. You have a very good potential and applying for the F5, okay? 자가프 and 구나싱가 부처 추천 회사의 몇 명한테 받을 수 있어요? 부처 추천은 다릅니다. 부처 추천은 어, 회사에서 그 요건을 맞추면 할 수가 있는데 부처 추천을 받더라도 한국에 지금 일반 제조업이면 5명밖에 없으면 1명밖에 안 돼요. 그래서 추천서를 받는 거가 중요한 게 아니고요. 지금 이미 1명이 E7 있고 5명밖에 안 되면 부처 추천 받아도 할 수가 없어요. 네. The Claudia Pretzel then extended the D27 visa with a one more semester until February 2020 graduate. After that, I immediately switched to E61 visa without leaving the country. So can I still apply for the F5 or F5? So I just explained the F5 visa. So you may calculate exactly about the 3 years from D to 3. Okay, it's a D27. It is a from D to U or D to 3, right? Exactly, and starting date and your finishing day, and you calculate before E61. And if you stayed more than 3 years with a D23, including D27, you can apply F27. But as I said, that D41 it is not counted. Okay. My E1 visa will expire in April 2020. 2021 because of this year's the 2021. So you're April. So if you do, just try to check that your period, okay, and with 80 points. And so if your previous income, then you may check that, right? and exactly in the 3 years from your D2 3, including D2 7 to until you got finally and you got graduated, calculated 3 years or not. So I need to be 5 years on a E2 to be able to. Yeah. The basic requirement is every F5 except for the F510, F510, the master degree holders, F515, the PhD degree holder, and except for that, they have to stay 5 years. Graham, E2, yeah, for now. So right now, even if you are the spouse and holding D8 visa, right, and you are holding E2, so you cannot open your own business. So I just explained that you have to do get and F27. This is the most way. I was D4 before D27. So I just said that you applied and a master degree. This is exactly D2 3, but you got a and the government scholarship, so automatically the switch to D2 7. But actually your visa was the master degree courses visa was D2 3. But even though you don't know and switched exactly directly to the D2 7, but you was a D2 3. Okay. Uh Okay. How? Okay. Thank you. Happy New Year. Okay. Happy New Year. Happy New the lunar year upcoming day. Today is the lot of persons asking me about the several questions, and I just explained that, and this is a most important thing. And also, but actually I received a lot of courses day by day, and it's I know that your situation, but but it's very difficult to receive the whole messages, so I didn't other sometimes receive a calls, and because also like several person sent and a message to me, but I couldn't reply. I received 100 messages and called several times. Even like an email then sent to me certain information on that and asking for that. The firstly kindly contact 1345 immigration contact center. If you cannot solve this one, and you can use every Friday night, I can explain whatever you wanted to do, and I just did truly and explain you whatever you want to do, right? So there is a very excellent chance every Friday night, right, to join us, because you know I can explain very freely, and I can get your name and every day, every time I say that, and I when you call me, and I can explain 10 minutes for free consultation, right? But somebody like not participated in our real time chatting, and it's very difficult to provide a kind of free consultation. So please kindly join our Friday night in the free consultation YouTube, the live channel, and join us. And also Claudia, yeah, Pechanova, yes. You didn't know that, but the in 2016 and the summertime, the D2 7 and the new the visa system has started. Right after that, somebody got the D2 and they get a government scholarship, and they didn't notice that, and they can change it automatically D2 7, right? So that's why they didn't they realized it, but actually the master is D2 3, and they changed to D2 7, right? Good luck. And LC Gaming, when we can able to apply C3 visa, I just explained that already, okay? And every country got their own some uh, immigration policies, especially Korean embassy. So the most effective way or clear way to define when the C3 visa is allowable is to contact the Korean embassy in your country. Okay, so kindly contact to the Korean embassy, and so and you can ask to the Korean embassy in your country. The all the most of the countries right now is very difficult to apply for the C3 visa due to the COVID-19 situation now in Korea and other countries right now. Okay, so kindly ask to the Korean embassy. Okay, I'd like to the finish today is our the real time chatting, right? Thank you very much for everything you just asked me today, and also sometimes you send a message to me. It is a very good motivate to me, and I just really, really and the doing and answer the questions about your questions. Oh, there is a last one question. Jahangir and Sabiel, how can I apply for F299 visa from E7? Okay, this is the last one I just explained you. Okay, but I don't know your E7 visa time, E7-1 or E7-4. Could you reply me? And after that, I get your answer. E7-4 or E7-1? Did you and change from E9 to E7 or just D2 to E7? Which one? Okay, no reply. But anyway, okay, if you change E7-1, graduate one of the Korean university with a D2 visa and you change E7, right? You have to wait 5 years, right? And when you apply for the F299, there are several things are required. The first one, you have to complete and the 5 years from E7 to F299. Second one is you have to complete CAPI stage 4 completion at least. And third one, you have to saving 30 million won. The fourth one, your income. So if you got an E7-1 visa, right, and you generate 80%, it's enough. But if you are staying with your spouse, right, and but E7-1 professional, one of the 67 jobs, and you need to prove a previous year's income was more than 12 times of our basic income. If not, if you're staying together, GNI one-time income shall be proved, right? Proven, right? Or if you're staying alone, and depends on, right? E7-4 need and 18 times of our monthly basic income, right? 18 times if you are single and staying in Korea alone, or E7-1, the 67, one of the 67 the jobs category, you need like 12 times of our monthly basic income. Okay, see you next time. Next Friday. Oh, next Friday, but I'm not sure. But I will give you some of the notification because of the Lunar New Year's. Okay. Happy Lunar New Year's. Bye bye. Happy Lunar New Year. Bye bye.